Hey everyone, I really like smoked fish and I got some friends asking me if I'm gonna make any. So today I think we're gonna go get some suckers and we'll do like a catch and cook, smoked fish. You got one, bud? Get him in. He's a big one? Oh, try and keep your rod tip up a bit, buddy. Lift your rod up. I see him too, buddy. Hey, lift this part up. There you go. Now you can reel him more.
Abe will grab it.
You gonna grab him for him, Abe? Just drag him up here and I'll come unhook him. Just grab the line and drag him up here, little bud, and I'll unhook him.
He was saying he doesn't want quota too.
Oh. He's saying, I want you to do that. We're talking on the video, isn't it? Grab it, Coda.
Look at his hand, Mom.
Mama's hooked up now. Good job, Ma. This is the last one we're gonna keep for sure. Abe, Code, let go of his line, bud. Yeah. Yep, just let him reel it in. Last one of the day and our first white sucker, it looks like. Drag him up here, Codes. Got him, Abe? Well, that's going to conclude the catching part of the catch and cook. We got 8 just like we wanted. That's about all we can comfortably fit in the smoker. They were a little bit smaller. They usually run a little bigger, but this will be just fine. Well, everyone, that's our take. The fish are running smaller than usual. I mean, usually to be honest, what we take, they're usually all about this size or bigger. But a lot of these, they didn't run very good at all this year. So we basically, beggars can't be choosers. And honestly, I prefer to do the white suckers to the red horse. But this is the only one we caught. It was the last fish we caught. But these will be just fine. I mean, I've used red horse before. Well, anyway, I'm just going to finish getting set up here, and I'll show you how I clean them. Try and do this up a little bit closer so you can see how I do this. There's literally nothing special about it, but I like to just split them open. You know, they smoke a little bit more even that way. Anyway, so I just I cut the heads off. Throw that away, and then I make a cut right here at the anus, whatever you want to call it. I cut that off. Good sharp knife, something a little stiffer helps too, because these scales are nasty and the bones are real thick. You can see right there, just above the anus, I cut the tail off right there. Then I take and just go right alongside the backbone here. It's easiest to put your knife in the meat, because these scales are really thick. So put your knife in the meat and then come up through the scales like this. That's the easiest way, and then you can turn your knife around and come back in here and come down. You feel those ribs, and you gotta kind of bust through those. They're really thick also. And they are tough. Sometimes you gotta flip your knife around to get through those even. There we go. Oops, a little more. There we go. Once you're through the ribs, you can open her up nice like this. I just take and rip all that out of there, throw it away. Cleaning suckers like this, it's messy, but man, they're so good smoked. Good reward. You gotta kind of scrape this crap out of there. It don't have to be perfect right now, because I'll take them inside and clean them up real nice here in a minute again. But that's it. That's how I like to do mine. Try and show you another one here with a little bit better of an angle. Like I was saying, I just take the head off here. Can be tough if you find the wrong spot there. They are fairly thick boned. Anus right here, so I'll cut the tail off. Sometimes it helps to get under them scales just a bit. Cut the tail off right there, just above the anus. And then with the back, like I was saying, these scales are so heavy, so it's easier if you start in the meat alongside the backbone and then just pull up, pull your blade through, just to give you a start, and then cut down to the ribs. And these ribs are tough, so you gotta kind of bust your way through them. Once you're through, it's easier to do it this way, but once you're through the ribs, just cut the, one more. Okay, anyway, now that I finally got it open, this is when I got it now. I'll pull all this out of here, scrape a little bit of that up. Got to spray your board off after every couple fish, because it does get messy fast. Alright, at this point, everybody, you could take these inside, clean them up real nice. If you can help it, I would keep the mess outside. That's what I like to do. Like, I got a fairly high pressure nozzle on my hose, and it'll take it from this, blood stained, just all the guts stuck onto the innards, to this in no time flat. This is clean enough. This is good to go. Just, another quick rinse, and then it'll be in the brine. This needs to be cleaned yet. So I'll just, hopefully I don't hose the camera down too much, but I'll show you how I do that. You might have to grab and pull a few of the dangly bits off. But I mean, you see just that quick how much cleaner and nicer it ends up looking. And that is good enough. All right, and that's that. Our fish, it's cleaned up, good to go. I'll give it one more quick rinse when we get in the house, just for any grass clippings and stuff that might have gotten on it here in the yard. But from here, I'll take you guys and the fish in the house. We'll show you how I like to do my brine. It's really simple. So we'll see you inside in just a second. All right, guys. I like to do a dry brine. The ingredients to this brine, very simple. First up, 3 cups of brown sugar. Light or dark, doesn't matter. A lot of people get hung up, oh, it's got to be dark. In my experience, dark doesn't even help the color all that much. But taste-wise, no difference. The dark is basically just a coloring thing. I've done it both ways. I don't notice the difference personally. Next is this tender quick or quick curing salt. Either works fine. 1 cup of this, and then 1 tablespoon onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. That's it. That's all I do. And it's very good. One tablespoon garlic powder, 1 tablespoon onion powder. This stuff's clumped up, so I'm probably gonna do a little extra just because the clumps aren't gonna break up very well. And then 1 tablespoon of black pepper, a little extra. Kind of depends on your taste for that. We'll just mix this up real good. This stuff is thick, tough. Fork works best. Alright guys, it's all mixed up. Good enough anyway. Next up, I'm going to grab your pan and some paper towel. You got to pat your fish just about as dry as you can get it. You want it to get nice and dry. It doesn't have to be super dry, I guess, because honestly, when you coat the fish with this stuff, it pulls a lot of moisture out of it. Anyway, just get it somewhat dry like this. Then we'll just take a spoon and lay this on, fairly heavy too at that. And kind of push it on, make sure it sticks. Also, guys, I should mention that I almost always, for 8 to 10 fish, I almost always have to double the brine recipe. I always just start with the 4 cups. I know full well I'm gonna need more than that, but I don't know, just stubborn. Never do a double batch right off the bat, I guess, even though I know I probably should. And you may not have to lay this stuff on quite as thick as I do. I just like to do it real thick. I want to make sure everything's coated good, and I mean, I don't know how much it actually matters, because tomorrow, after we give this, you should give this probably 24 hours in the fridge, but I'm not gonna give it quite that long. It doesn't have to be that long. The longer, I mean, don't go crazy or something, but if you let it sit longer, kind of the better. But due to work restrictions and you know, or not restrictions, but due to time restrictions, I'm gonna put this in the fridge tonight, and it'll probably be, I don't know, 7 o'clock-ish by the time it gets in there. And then I'm probably gonna pull it and get it in the smoker, I don't know, around noon tomorrow. It's still gonna be plenty good enough. I gotta make some more. Be right back. Thank you. All right, Brine's on and doing its thing. We're just gonna cover this and then let it go for about 11-12 hours. Like I was saying earlier, I still need it, buddy. Like I was saying earlier, if you can do 24 hours or so, that's probably best. I just don't have that much time to dedicate to this, and I've done it. You know, I've done a shorter 12-hour brine like this before. It turns out just fine. So it's not like it's an issue, but if you've got time, you may as well let it go. All right, and into the fridge we go. Perfect. We finished this at about 7 o'clock last night. It's 12:30 now. So we're 12-13 hours in. And we're going to pull it out and get it ready to go in the smoker. Alright everybody, as I was saying, this pulls a lot of moisture out of the fish. Our dry brine is now just totally wet. That's how it's supposed to be. That's also why I like to just coat it on so thick. But now we're going to take these, we're going to rinse them off, and then this is when you got to pat them very dry. Alright, as you can see, I just rinsed off all the excess, both sides. Got it as clean as I can. You can see how much darker the meat is because that stuff is penetrated in. And we're going to do that with all the rest of them. I love you, bud.
You're doing good at this.
Alright, now, like I said yesterday, when you're putting it into the brine, you want to pat it dry and whatever. Right now, you want to actually get it really dry. This time, you actually want it to be very, very dry. Just helps with the smoking process. You know, so pat it. It's going to take a lot of paper towel, but just keep on trying to get it, you know, nice and dried up. Once you get it patted dry real nice, leaving it exposed to the air for a minute, this fish, it'll start to get tacky. That's kind of how you want it to be. In the meanwhile, we'll keep going. We'll get all these. I'll just lay them out. Alright, everybody. Fish is done being dried. Next step, smoker. Alright, I'm gonna get the fish out. Alright, for the first couple hours here, I'm just going to pour really heavy smoke to them, and then I'll just slowly elevate the heat from here. I think this thing operates usually around 160, 180 when you put it to just smoke, so that's not too hot. But eventually I'll bring it up to 200, 225. Because I want all these to hit an internal temp of like 165, 170. You know, that way the fish is totally done, and it dries it up a little bit more that way. That's how I prefer it. So we'll be back when after these guys have a hour or two of smoke on them. What are we doing today? What are we looking for? Morel mushrooms?
And one is right there, and one.
You found one right there and right there? Where? Oh yeah. Go ahead, get her, buddy. And right there. Yeah, good job, bud. Throw them in your bag, or do you want me to put them in my bag? Whoop. We've been looking all over. We finally just now found two. Huh, buddy? Yeah. Look at how happy he is. Good job, buddy. Let's look around and find a few more. As you can see, I turned the temp up a bit here now. They're getting there. Not done yet, but kind of see just how wet that is still. Sometimes I like to take these and set them up. You can see all that running out of there. That really helps to let it drain, dry it up a little bit nicer. Temp-wise, this is fine. Now it's just a matter of, I'd like to get it a little drier. Just personal preference. Some people like it like this. You could pull it right now if you wanted to. And it would dry up a little bit as it, as you brought it in and cooled it, but I'm gonna let it go a bit longer. I think I'm gonna stand all the pieces up like this and give her another hour or so. Then it'll be good to go. Well, everyone, I think I'm gonna pull them. They look pretty good to me at this point. Yum. I cannot wait to eat some. We're getting ready to snack on some smoked sucker, and Keysha's getting ready for making a catfish dinner. Alright guys, it's all cooled down, looking good now. I just tried some. It is very good. Well, if you like smoked fish and haven't done it yourself yet, this is about as simple as it gets, and it is very good. Thanks for watching.